Hello everyone, I'm Scott Jordan alongside Christina Moore and Matt Isbell. Welcome to Cincinnati, Ohio for another exciting edition of Arena in 25. Tonight we're on the road with Arena Championship Series Central. Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger up on the pod as we get ready for our racing competition. Take a look here at the lineup. Kristen Anderson, Elvis Linus, Blake Granger, Tony Oaks, Mark Hall, Kurt Kramer, Zach Gardner, and John Zimmer Jr. all gunning for the overall event championship. And we kick off racing. Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger in the time racing competition around the first turn. Nice corner, hits the brakes into the second turn and up onto the pod. She goes a little sideways slow across the finish line. 12.378 is the time for Gravedigger. Next up, Zach Garner in wild side. He is off the starting line, deep around that corner, avoiding the turning box into the straightaway. And then around the second turn we go. No brake check necessary across the finish line. Nice jump and acceleration. And the time for Zach Garner, 10.959 in wild side. Up next, Elvis Linus and El Toro Loco. Great jump off the line. Has to inch by that turning box. Knocked it a little bit off, but it doesn't leave the chalk line. And then on three wheels, up over the finish line goes El Toro Loco right into the turning box again. But 10.475, great run for Elvis Linus. Here is Kurt Kramer now in hot seat, so Rammunition out the door this weekend. Hot seat is in, and hot seat goes deep around that corner, hits the pod, again clipping that front left tire onto the pod. Up over the finish line goes hot seat, and Kurt Kramer gets a 13.267. Out next is teammate with Hall Brothers Racing, Mark Hall and Raminator. The veteran Monster Jam driver, great corner into the straightaway. He clips the pod as well, right past the 8-pack. Goes really wide and deep past the center, back up. Nice air across the finish line. Raminator recording a time of 12.334. Out next, Blake Granger in Max D. And here goes Max D accelerating across the chalk line around the turning box. We go into the straightaway. And again, clipping the pod. A lot of drivers having issues with this pod right by the A-pack. He's got to come back and collect where he is at and get the truck right. And 11.597 is the time for Blake Granger. John Zimmer Jr. now in terminal velocity. He's going to try to avoid the mistake that a lot of drivers are making here this evening. And he goes into the straightaway. Let's take a look here. He goes brake check across that pod now. So a nice move there for John Zimmer. Now up over the single log and terminal velocity with a time of 11.781. Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune Black Ops up next here in time racing. Around the turning box he goes. Here comes Soldier Fortune into the straightaway, just missing the pod and whips it around, has to cross it back up over the 8-pack now. And Tony Oaks having all kinds of issues centering the truck. So this track giving drivers all kinds of problems in Cincinnati. And finally across the finish line, Tony Oaks 20.821. That means El Toro Loco's Elvis Linus is our racing winner. Let's check in with Christina Moore.
Elvis, congratulations. What a way to start the event. You got the first 8 points of the night. You can only go up from here and keep the trajectory going. What's going through your mind right now?
Honestly, I heard Matt say it right before I did my time racing. That was redemption, man. That's all that's on my mind right now. I didn't get to freestyle, and just a bunch of hiccups, this year. But hey, it's all right. We're starting off right now, and we're going into one of my favorite competitions, and that's the Great Clips two-wheel skills competition. I feel like I'm pretty good at it, but man, Cincinnati, you guys ready for more or what?
So Elvis, you just said it. Coming up next is the Great Clips two-wheel skills challenge. So what can all these fans expect to see from you? I know you mentioned earlier today you had a few other tricks up your sleeve, some new stuff. So what can they expect?
Man, Cincinnati, you guys are in for a treat. This competition right here is a true testament to the innovation that's going on with Monster Jam and where the sport is going, man. You guys are going to see some crazy tricks. Man, you guys are probably going to be on your seats, but the louder you guys get, the crazier we're going to get. So let's hear Cincinnati.
Elvis Linus getting into the win column. He gets 8 points. Zach Gardner with 7. Blake Granger with 6. And John Zimmer Jr. with 5 points, rounding out the top half of the standings at the Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. 3 competitions remain. And as Elvis said, up next is the Great Clips two-wheel skills challenge. And up first is Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune Black Ops. Fans in attendance judging at judgeszone.com based on creativity, skill, and execution. Each driver had 2 attempts. And Tony Oaks coming right off the pod into a stoppie. Now with a moonwalk up onto the edge of that pod, holding the truck slow and steady. You have no idea how difficult that is in a 12,000-pound monster jam truck. Lands it back on all 4 BKT tires. And again, second attempt right back in the well once again. Out with a stoppie. This time he takes it forward into a nose wheelie. Nice slow control, keeps the back 2 wheels slow and steady and into a moonwalk. So a great combo move here for Tony Oaks. Kicking off the competition. He's going to go all the way across now. Nice little bounce back on all 4 BKTs. 2 successful attempts from Tony Oaks as we take a look at the super glue glued to the action replay. 8.845. Great score for the Army veteran. Next out, Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger. She comes on the other side of the pod. Now she's going to go into reverse, right back in, and she goes in for a wheelie. So a nice reverse wheelie, gets it right on the wheelie bar. She is one of the best in the business at holding that truck right there. Wheelies it back up over the pod. Nice little pop on the back end of that combo. Second attempt here for Kristen Anderson. Gravedigger, vertical sky wheelie. Great angle of the truck. Gets it all the way up. Nice bounce. And 2 great attempts for Kristen Anderson. 8.090 is her score. Elvis Linus, our time racing winner, edges it out. Looked like he was going for a stoppie, nothing there, so he's got to back it up into reverse all the way across the pod. This time he's got a little more room, and now he comes right back over into the stoppie. Here we go, he's got it now. Look at the back end of that truck going right up in front of the lower end. Now he's just crushing the nose of that El Toro Loco truck. Back and forth, crisscross applesauce is what we call that, and blowing out the smoke of El Toro Loco. So Elvis Line is one of the best in the arenas at this competition. He's getting better and better every year, and he's showing it right here in Cincinnati. Backs up here, got a lot of room, accelerates over the tires, going for a sky wheelie. Doesn't get the truck up into a vertical base, but look at the save into a stoppie off the pot. A one-wheel stoppie for Elvis Linus. What a maneuver. 9.212. And your new leader in the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge is Elvis Linus. Just catches it right there with that front right wheel, moves it back and forth, lands it back on all 4 tires. And now Blake Granger going to try to top that. A lot of work here involved if Blake Granger wants to take the lead from Elvis Linus. This is what Blake Granger is brilliant at, showing off here with the crab walking nose wheelie moonwalk. He takes the steering wheel, ends up getting those back 2 wheels moving in a different direction. And we call that crab walking in Monster Jam, and now accelerates into reverse. And a reverse moonwalk, and then here we go back onto the wheelie bar again. So he flip-flops the truck and back on all 4 tires. So Blake Granger trying to get these combo moves. Second attempt here, edges it up over the pod. Now in that center position, goes back into reverse over the tire stack, looking for a reverse stoppie. And now he is just stuck there trying to figure it out, trying for a popper. Nothing there, didn't get an angle. He's going to try one more time. And not much on attempt number 2. But take a look at the combo move here from Blake Granger from the moonwalk into the wheelie. 6.085 is a score from Max D. Our next competitor, Mark Hall and Raminator, likes to do these sky wheelies in the arenas. He tries one right there, doesn't get a great angle, does get some nice push on the truck. And then he goes attempt number 2 a little higher, 4.936. Zach Gardner in wild side now edges the center of that truck out onto the pod, going for a reverse stoppie into a wheelie combo. He gets it, he nails it, and slides it all the way across. Second attempt here for wild side. Got some speed going up over the log and then trying for a sky wheelie. Not much air, but a great attempt on the acceleration. 6.532 for Zach Gardner. Kirk Kramer in hot seat. He is out on the single log trying for a sky wheelie as well. And then second attempt on the other side of the pod, goes back at it one more time. 4.204. John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity. He is going to now take center lane up over the pod. Going to try to get a popper. Gets into a stoppie. And now he's got it right where he wants it. Edges the truck back into that moonwalk. Now he's got it rock solid and still going to try to moonwalk it all the way across the pod. He's going to try to keep it going, and he does. Right back onto the other side. Terminal velocity attempt number 2. Going for the sky wheelie. Not much there, but a great first attempt. 7.338 for John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity. That means our winner of the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge, Elvis Linus, El Toro Loco, winning another competition. Let's go down to Christina Moore.
Elvis, Congratulations. We are 2 for 2 right now. What is going through your mind after that incredible Great Clips 2 Wheel Skills Challenge win?
Redemption, man. We're off to a perfect start right now. This is awesome. Maybe we can get a clean sweep, but we'll see how it goes, man. But Cincinnati, what you guys think about that 2-wheel skills competition? Was it cool or what?
So you gotta talk us through that last moment. You were balancing on the front right tire. We have not seen that from you all season long. So what was that moment like for you? Was that planned?
You know, it wasn't, but I know with that little jump and clipping that AR6 right there, it can provide for a really crazy moment. And thankfully, I got one right there. I kind of had to force it a little bit. But man, being on one wheel is such a cool thing. And hopefully I can get really good at it and innovate that. And next thing you guys know, it'll be the Great Clips One Skill competition. We'll be out here in unicycles, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm so excited for freestyle. Are you guys ready for more Monster Jam or what? Cincinnati, man, you guys are awesome. It's a fun city. During the flex cam, I'm gonna go grab my camera and I'm recording a blog, so I wanna see you guys flexing out there, all right?
Put a unicycle in Monster Jam. You can sign me up all day long. Elvis Linus going back-to-back 16 points. He's the current overall event leader. Zach Garner with 11. John Zimmer Jr. with 10. And then a tie for Blake Granger and Kristen Anderson with 9 points apiece. We are at the halfway mark. 2 more competitions to go. And up next in Cincinnati is the donut competition. Once again, fans judging at judgeszone.com, looking for momentum and number of revolutions. Here is Kirk Kramer trying to throw one down in hot seat. He is very close to the pod. That's going to affect it, and he gets a 7.210. Next out, Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune Black Ops on the far side of the track. He goes wide, a lot of room in front of him, and now he's going to try to lay this one down. Low center of gravity for the back end of that 12,000-pound truck, throwing it into the dirt. 8.791 for Tony Oaks, and Soldier Fortune Black Ops is your new leader. Zach Gardner and Wildside third out onto the track. He gets a hiccup right there as he clips the pod on that ramp. It doesn't stop him at all. He's got the front left wheel up off the dirt, and that is what you look for in a donut. 8.447 for Zach Gardner. Next out, Blake Granger in Max D. He goes wide, close to the wall, gets it right back out into a great center spot, has a sweet spot on the track, and now Max D, low center of gravity onto the dirt, roosting Cincinnati. 8.456 is the score for Blake Granger. No hands on the wheel for Max D. John Zimmer Jr. at Terminal Velocity out next. He's got one going here. A great shot of the 8-pack as Terminal Velocity's back end swings back and forth. 7.569. Elvis Linus trying to win his third competition of the night. El Toro Loco just avoiding the pod. Got some smoke coming out of the Crazy Bull and gets right into that sweet spot on the track in the dirt. 9.093. He's done it again. Your new leader is Elvis Linus. Mark Hall and Raminator out next. Going to try to take the lead away from the Crazy Bull. Having some issues. That front right wheel not cooperating right now with the rest of the truck. 5.974. And now Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger, one of the best in Monster Jam at Donuts. She stars in these arenas on this track. She goes to the right side like her father, Dennis Anderson, with the back end of the truck, clips the pod, and she is going to go over, end up on the hood. We get her recovered, 9.350, your new leader and your winner, Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger.
That is how you do it. Give it up for Kristen Anderson in Team Gravedigger. You had to do something. Elvis was out here, you know, great donut run, but you said, all right, I'll give the fans what they want. The black and green wrecking machine, that's what they come to see, Kristen.
Hey, man, that's why they call me the black and green wrecking machine. I know you guys like to see those big crashes. Who loves a little bit of carnage, man? That's cool, right?
I'm going to tell you what, right now, you have a lot of people on your side after that. You know, freestyle's coming up, and these girls in this crowd are going absolutely crazy for you, Kristen. A lot of girl power here tonight.
I know, man. I'm ready to do it for you guys. I'm the only girl out here competing on this track tonight. I'm trying to give the boys a run for their money. Anytime I pull this truck out here on the track, it's for all the Gravedigger fans, but it's definitely for all those little girls that are sitting in the crowd tonight. Do I got any ladies in the house?
We'll see what the black and green wrecking machine could do.
Thank you, Matt. Kristen Anderson getting 8 points with the win. That drops her up to the second place. Elvis Linus retains the lead, 23 points for the overall event lead so far. Zach Gardner with 15, and Tony Oaks and Blake Granger with 14 points apiece. We are 3 competitions in at the Heritage Bank Center. 1 remains, and it is freestyle. Each driver has to complete 15 seconds of the run to qualify for a score. Fans in attendance are judging and want to see some creativity, use of all obstacles, and of course that big wow moment. Out first, Elvis Linus in Toro Loco trying to take the overall event championship here in Cincinnati, and he's got to lay down a good one right here. So he goes wide on that turn, has to hit the brakes, now comes all the way around. You have all these obstacles on this pod. Elvis taking advantage of it right there. Nice sky wheelie. Gets the truck back across, has to hit the brakes, running out of room. And drivers need to be aware in these smaller arenas when they don't have a lot of room. They have to turn that into a technical prowess. They have to know where they're at all times. And Elvis Linus hitting the brakes, trying to catch that momentum. Now back up. He spins El Toro Loco around, tries for a sky wheelie, gets an end-over-end jump. Wheelie on the combo, down over the single log. Trying to find a nice angle, slowing it down a little bit. He's going to run out of time. Take a look at the super glue glued to the action replay for Elvis Linus. 6.942 is the score. That might put his overall event championship hopes in jeopardy. Here comes Kurt Kramer in hot seat. Tries for a sky wheelie, gets a slap wheelie combo on the downside. Now over the single log, here comes Hotzi again, clearing it up over the pod and back down on the other side. So that's what you're going to see here from Kurt Kramer. He is going to use all obstacles, going to try to throw in some of those sky wheelies, get that air. Comes down on the far side, looking for a stoppy single log again for Kurt Kramer. Not much there, but he continues the run. Sometimes all it takes is filling the clock, hitting those obstacles to get a great score from the fans. Over on the tire stack, other side, slap wheelie combo. Edges around past terminal velocity, and wild side comes back over the single log, trying again for a sky wheelie. Keeps the back 2 wheels moving, so keeping that momentum going. Doesn't have to hit the brakes. Take a look at the super glue glued to the action replay. Kurt Kramer in Hossie with a slap wheelie, 4.086. Next up, Zach Garner in wild side. Out of Fortville, Indiana, the son of Jamie Garner, who drives Overboard, also the owner of Overboard Motorsports. And Zach Gardner now whips wild side back up over the pod in Cincinnati, trying to climb back out of those standings and get up to the top and try to make some damage here and get a trophy for himself. Wild side, great brake check. Brings it right over the sky wheelie, little cross-threading action, gets a whip. And Zach, one of the youngest stars in Monster Jam, stormed onto the scene just about a year ago, having a great year, and now trying to continue this momentum with his teammate John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity. So wild side now over the single log, another nice jump. Doesn't clear the pod, but ends up landing it perfectly. And now Roosing has had a very small window to go through, and he nailed it brilliantly. That's that awareness I was talking about as a driver. You got to know where your truck is, where the other trucks are, and Zach Garner did it brilliantly on that run. Runs out of room here, though, has to reverse and come right back around, trying to get some of that momentum. Unfortunately, time has expired as we take a look at the score for wild side, 7.696. So Zach Gardner takes the lead here in freestyle. Out next, Tony Oaks, Soldier Fortune Black Ops, the 10-year military veteran, having a bit of a quiet night, trying to win freestyle here. A freestyle win will go a long way to giving Tony Oaks a great start here in Cincinnati, Ohio. As Soldier Fortune Black Ops now comes off the pod onto the single log again. Gets the front 2 tires back down onto the track. Whips the truck back around, has all kinds of room here, going for the 8-pack. Tony Oaks gonna sky Soldier Fortune Black Ops. He lands it and gets a nice little wheelie stoppy on the backside. Love to see that. That is the big wow moment here in freestyle, the first one in freestyle thus far. And Tony Oaks going to continue his run here, has all the momentum in his favor. Up over the tire stack goes Soldier Fortune Black Ops, and then down into a stoppy, trying for the moonwalk, but he's right there on the corner, that tough part of the track between the 8-pack and the ramp. Great run here for Tony Oaks. Take a look at the super glue. Glue to the action replay with the backflip. Lands it. Front 2 tire bounce and a 9.572 Out next, Blake Ranger in Max D. Comes off the single log, low center of gravity on that jump. He's able to keep his momentum. You go high off the ramp, you got to prepare for the bounce. You go low, you can continue your run and try for a combo. There is a topsy-turvy move for Blake Ranger as he goes now over to the single log. Trying to bounce it off. He gets off on the left side and will roll over in Max D. Take a look at the Super Glue to the action replay. Comes wide off the jump, bounces from one side to the other, and ends up on the roof, 7.353. Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger out next, coming off a big win in the donut competition. She'll take the black and green wrecking machine off the single log jump into a sky wheelie. Now off the tire stack, she got the tires right in between those tires, so she didn't come off at a full angle on it. She kept her momentum going and did not put the truck into chaos mode, which has worked out well for her here so far. Back in a Gravedigger now, whipping back around, trying to catch up to the front. She goes up onto the pod, tries for a stoppie on the back side of that combo. And now she will continue with her run here on the single log jump. Great air as she brings Gravedigger back down on the other side of the track. You got to get creative on these arena tracks. With that one pod with the obstacles, these drivers have to be creative, and at this point in a freestyle run, you have to be able to show these fans in Cincinnati something they have not seen just yet. So Kristen Anderson now with a brake check. She slides the back two tires across the edge of the pod, and then she is done with her freestyle run as she's trying to get the truck back into position. Not sure what went on there, but her time is up. Kristen Anderson on the Super Glue to the action replay, 7.822. Here is Mark Hall and Raminator. And now Mark Hall sliding the truck over the pod, comes right back around, trying again here, goes up onto the center lane. Far side of the track, great look at the front end of that Dodge Ram truck. The Raminator trying to lay one down here, but Mark Hall has to slow down now over the pod as he inches over that single log. 3.427 is the score for Raminator. And here comes John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity. The son of legendary driver John Zimmer from Gravedigger fame. Now John Zimmer Jr. trying to make a name for himself, and it should be noted his dad is here with him. His dad travels with him as his crew chief, and who also helps out Zach Gardner in Wildside. So John Zimmer Jr. Has a great man to learn from. John Zimmer, one of the all-time greats in Monster Jam. Terminal velocity now backing up. A lot of space in front of him. He's going to try to send this thing for the backflip. And here goes Zim Jr. He goes up, a little bit of a slow roll. Comes down awkwardly on that front wheel, but he lands it nonetheless, 8.878. Check out the damage on that front right wheel. John Zimmer Jr. with an exclamation point on his freestyle run. As we take a look at the final scores, Tony Oaks will win freestyle, but it's all about the overall event points. Elvis Linus with 26, Kristen Anderson 23, and Tony Oaks with 22. Elvis Linus is our overall event champion. We're going to send it down to the track with Matt Isbell and the driver of the Crazy Bull.
Elvis Linus. And now Toro Loco. Redemption for the beginning of this live event. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man. You know, it means a lot. Like you said it, man, it's been redemption. This afternoon, I was like 1 point away from Tony. Some stuff happened, but, man, here we are now holding it. I don't know why I went out first for freestyle. I wasn't ready for that one, so that caught me off guard. But, hey, we at least got the freestyle, and most importantly, we got the win, man. This one goes out to my crew guy, all the crew guys out there, and most importantly, man, all the fans out there that come out, support us in this crazy weather, man. And I'm also a St. Jude ambassador, so this was going out to St. Jude, man. But hey, any kid out there, man, doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like, you know, that doesn't mean anything, man. As long as you have heart for what you do, you can get to where you want to be, man. This is something I've been wanting to do since I was 2 years old. I chased that dream for 16 years, man. Here I am at 23, living out my dream. Thank you, guys. We love you. We can't wait to see you next time. Thank you, Cincinnati.
Some strong words from Elvis Lainez, going from super fan to superstar. Get some redemption here in Cincinnati. Oh, what a night for all of our competitors. Make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Monster Jam. Use the hashtag Monster Jam on all of your posts. And for tickets, event results, and more information, go to monsterjam.com. For my co-hosts Christina Moore and Matt Isbell, I'm Scott Jordan. Good night from Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll see you right here next time on the Arena Series in 25.